college, I had teammates that were there with me for 4 years and were really comfortable playing with me. And then you come here and you have to learn your teammates in 2 weeks before you step on the court, and that can be really hard.
First, they're complaining that they don't get paid enough money. Then a girl like this shows up that's about to increase everyone's pay, and they're still about it.
Clark, a deep three! Oop, that in! Knocks that one down, and it's a big...
Before we continue, I would like to ask you a quick favor. If you enjoy this content, please take a moment to like this video. Dan Patrick just said something that will anger a lot of people. He called out the WNBA referees for the way they're treating Caitlin Clark. You won't believe what he said about the officiating in her last game. Additionally, 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing, which is free of charge but greatly beneficial to us. Did you click the subscribe button? If so, thank you very much. Let's get back to the video. Patrick believes that Clark's chances of winning MVP and Rookie of the Year are being hampered by the referees. Can you believe that this superstar rookie could miss out on major awards due to some poor calls? That's crazy, but here's the thing. This situation could alter the WNBA. We'll break down what's actually going on with Clark and these referees and why it matters for everyone in the league. Get ready because this story is going to be crazy from beginning to end. Speaking of Clark's first season, it has been quite the ride. 1 minute she is smashing records, and the next she is barely reaching the rim. You might be surprised to learn what caused the superstar to stumble. This is where things get interesting, though. Caitlin Clark wasn't just any rookie when she joined the WNBA. She was the best scorer in college basketball history. The scoring machine is dishing out passes like nobody's business, and it's like she decided to show off a whole new side of her game. It's impressive, but wait, there's more to this story. Remember that game against the Las Vegas Aces? It was supposed to be Clark's big moment to shine, but instead it turned into a bit of a nightmare. She went 1 for 10 from three-point range, which isn't the Caitlin Clark we're used to seeing. That was her first significant record in the pros, but it wasn't for scoring at all.
Good shooter can really feel the ball off their hand like that. So I kind of know, and then sometimes I get ready to celebrate and fire up the crowd. And then the next time down.
She's really good. Let it be that. And the other players should shut the hell up. Like, nobody was talking about your league. Nobody cared about the WNBA until that girl.
Obviously, we see her shooting, we see her passing, we see all that stuff on the floor, but a lot of that comes from a lot of hard work. She's in the gym almost all the time working on her game.
According to Dan Patrick, who is saying something that has everyone talking, is the WNBA too difficult for college's biggest star? Patrick believes that Clark is not only talented but also a superstar, not a female superstar, which makes a significant statement. Patrick argues that Clark's ability to dominate the game is something that few players possess. It goes beyond her ability to score goals or provide assists. Rather, it's about how she elevates everyone around her, which is what distinguishes excellent players from great ones. However, here's the thing that Clark is currently suffering with. The WNBA's physicality is serious business. Clark is feeling it. She went from being on fire every night to fighting for every bucket. You might be thinking, well, maybe she's just not as good as everyone thought, but that's not the case at all. Clark has the skills, the vision, and the basketball IQ. She is struggling with the transition to professional ball, which is not simple. Imagine this, Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation, facing the Las Vegas Aces. It should have been her chance to shine, but things didn't exactly go as planned. Clark's struggles extend beyond simply adjusting to the pro game. Recall that 1 for 10 night from 3. There's more to that story, and it involves some calls that left everyone scratching their heads.
2, drills it. The Fever leak out Caitlin Clark. A layup drill for her.
Paying Caitlin Clark $28 million. Good for freaking you.
When you talk about greats in this game, you know, the Michael Jordans and the Kobe Bryants and the Steph Currys, like they are putting her in that category, the Diana Taurasi's.
The game devolved into a referee drama that had everyone talking from the beginning. Something felt off, the Fever couldn't find their rhythm, and it wasn't just because of the Aces' defense. The referees were calling the game tight, and it was throwing everyone for a loop. Clark herself couldn't believe what was happening after the game. She said bluntly that she was surprised by some of the offensive fouls called, which isn't something you hear from a rookie every day. She felt like she was being knocked around, but somehow she was the one getting whistled. It's as if the referees decided to play on the opposite day. Clark was attempting to respond to the physical defense, and suddenly she was the one in foul trouble. It's enough to make your head spin, but wait, it gets even more bizarre. The Fever had to use their challenge just to keep Aaliyah in the game. Boston. Picture burning as your only task to prevent your best player from fouling out. That's survival, not strategy. When discussing this mess, Dan Patrick didn't mince words. He claimed that the referees had a significant influence on how the game went and that it wasn't just the Fever feeling the heat. Even Aces co-coach Becky Hampton was losing it over some of these calls. What does all of this mean for Clark and the Fever?
She's a special player. She commands so much defensive attention. And I think that's one of the things that separates her in terms of winning that Rookie of the Year.
Caitlin Clark's popularity is influenced by her race and sexuality, stating we would be very naive if we didn't say race and her sexuality played a role in her popularity.
Caitlin decided not to shoot. Mitchell will hits the three, and that is the 19th assist for Caitlin.
Clark is attempting to figure out the pro game, and now she has to worry about which way the whistle will blow. That's a lot for anyone to manage, let alone a rookie. But here's the thing. These calls can screw with a player's head. Clark is a player who has the ability to alter the course of a game, which is why these refereeing concerns are so significant. You know what's crazy about Clark's situation? It's about allowing the top players to show off their skills, not just about wins and losses. It's not just about her. This harsh treatment of rookies has persisted since Candace Parker joined the league. Yes, even the legendary Candace Parker was jostled during her first season. Dan Patrick was spot on when he said that Caitlin Clark had learnt a lot and that there are mature women out there who will be physically aggressive. The first year after leaving Tennessee, Candace Parker experienced hard treatment. With a new great player, the WNBA isn't only about skill, it's also about tenacity. These rookies enter the league believing they're hot stuff, and then all of a sudden they're being thrown around like pinballs. It's like history repeating itself. It's completely different from college, and Clark feels every bit of that difference. But the thing is that this is how we want our future stars to be handled. After all, these incredible athletes are joining the league.
Opportunity. Caitlin Clark for three, rattles it around for her.
More people go to a Los Angeles Sparks game this year than the Lakers. There was more people attending a Sparks game this year than Lakers.
There is a fine line, and it appears that the referees are currently struggling to walk it. They need to keep the game physical, which is part of what makes the WNBA great, but they also can't let it turn into a wrestling match. What's the solution? They're ready to light it up, but instead they're spending half their time worrying about getting bodied without a whistle. Some are suggesting that the name of games should be changed. Perhaps we should offer our best players more protection and give them an opportunity to demonstrate their abilities. But do we really want to take away the game's edge? This is where the action gets intriguing despite all of this turmoil. With their playoff berth, which is significant given their performance the previous season, Clark and the Fever are making waves. It's as if they're saying, yeah, it's tough out here, but we're tougher. What's next for Caitlin Clark in the WNBA? It's obvious that she has the talent to be a superstar, but these referee problems and rookie challenges are serious. Dan Patrick believes that if Clark and her teammates can play at an all-star level, they could make some serious noise in the playoffs, which is a big deal for a team that finished last in the standings last year. I was surprised by some of the offensive fouls called, Clark says in frustration.
8%. Caitlin Clark, another three-pointer.
Let's run that. I think her ability to lead this team as a rookie, she's really starting to step into that role, and I think that's exciting to see as well.
That isn't what you want to hear from your rising star, but the way the league responds to this could have a significant impact on not only Clark's career, but also the future of WNBA officiating and how they develop fresh talent. Do you believe that the league should alter the way that rookie games are called, or is this simply a requirement of playing professionally? Let's hear our responses to these questions since they could influence the WNBA for years to come. How do you feel about fair play in the workplace? According to Dan Patrick, who is saying something that has everyone talking, is the WNBA too difficult for college's biggest star? Patrick believes that Clark is not only talented but also a superstar, not a female superstar, which makes a significant statement. Patrick argues that Clark's ability to dominate the game is something that few players possess. It goes beyond her ability to score goals or provide assists. Rather, it's about how she elevates everyone around her, which is what distinguishes excellent players from great ones. However, here's the thing that Clark is currently suffering with. The WNBA's physicality is serious business. Clark is feeling it. She went from being on fire every night to fighting for every bucket. You might be thinking, well, maybe she's just not as good as everyone thought, but that's not the case at all. Clark has the skills, the vision, and the basketball IQ. She is struggling with the transition to professional ball, which is not simple. Imagine this: Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation, facing the Las Vegas Aces. It should have been her chance to shine, but things didn't exactly go as planned. Clark's struggles extend beyond simply adjusting to the pro game. Recall that 1 for 10 night from 3. There's more to that story, and it involves some calls that left everyone scratching their heads.